Lanes. Welcome to the Hudepohl King of TV Bowling. I'm Tom Brenneman along with Jennifer Kleekamp and David Newrath. And Jen, we were here a year ago, but Eastgate Lanes, a place that's even better in this season.
Oh, it does. The Bettinghouse brothers took this over 3 years ago. Dan Bettinghouse is our proprietor this morning. They've done a marvelous job. It's absolutely an image-making bowling center.
And they even had a little breakfast for us this morning. Can't argue with that. Now, David, Riga Kalpas going for the 7th consecutive week as our king, but some tough competition and guys we've seen before this year.
Well, in match number 1, as a matter of fact, we're going to have a barn burner right out of the box because Greg Lothian, who's one of the toughest young bowlers around, gets through the ball as strong as anyone. He's going to be going against Tony Disanto, and we watched him a couple of weeks ago, and he looks tough, too. Not overly impressed with the amount of boards the ball covers, but he's so accurate, and the pinfall is so good that I predict a couple of 240s out of the box.
Well, you've been in a lot of trouble with your predictions this year. Real quick, we saw Tony a couple of weeks ago. He was awfully impressive for a guy who had only been on the show the first time.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He may be the dark horse because he doesn't have the name, but I tell you what, I got a hunch he's going to do it today.
We shall see. Will the Newrath factor come into play as it has so many times in the past? Well, we shall see. Up next on the Hudepohl King of TV Bowling. Stay with us.
The Greater Cincinnati BPA's Hudepohl King of Bowling. Brought to you by Hudepohl Shaneland, brewers of Cincinnati's celebrated beers. The best in the world is brewed right here.
Bowling from Eastgate Lanes. See some of the graphics on the wall, as Jen talked about at the top. They have done one whale of a job out here at Eastgate Lanes.
I'm really impressed with this center.
Greg Lothian steps right up there in the first shot of the match.
You will note that Greg Lothian will waste absolutely no time. He's got a very clear picture in his mind as to what he wants to do, Tommy, and he will step up there and just do it.
Yeah, we saw this guy last year, and he was very impressive. He picks up the spare easily.
I believe we also saw him coming from Glenn Schmidt's lanes, didn't we, the first week?
I've seen him at so many lanes, it's hard for me to
you lose
remember
track.
which one. But he hits them all, and he's a very well-schooled player.
Yeah, Jen, you're exactly right. Exactly right. He's been competing in the King qualifiers for 5 years. And Tony Disanto, we talked about him as well at the top of the show. And he was with us for the first time, I believe it was 2 weeks ago. And boy, he was very, very impressive.
Yeah, he won the roll-up this morning, 222 to 196, and Len Gray is our standby this morning.
So you know what this guy can do. 222 in the roll-off, starts the first frame, dead on the money. 10 up and 10 down, looking to make it 2 in a row.
Got the ball in there, Tommy, a little bit. I think Tony is telling me he's trying to play right around the 10th board or the second arrow. That ball you could clearly see hit about 12, and when that happens, you hit the heavier concentration of oil, delays the roll, therefore the weak 10.
He was doing some spare shooting, as many very good players do in the warm-up, to make sure you don't miss these, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, that is a shame. You know, you practice it in the warm-ups, and you know where you want your feet to be, and you know what you want to hit. Like the lights sometimes play a factor. Look at it.
You know, I think some of the people, Dave, they at home might be wondering, these guys can step up there and roll 15 strikes in a row, just fooling around. How in the world do they miss one pin?
Mental breakdown. Absolutely a mental breakdown. The fact that you cannot continually go up and concentrate 100% on every shot, obviously the thing to do is to ease up on an easy spare. So often, though, it comes back to haunt you.
We have some good representatives. Oh, they're all good. Our BPA representatives, they can make a good showing in the morning. We've got Dan Bettinghouse, as I said at the onset, who's from Eastgate, Walt Tarpley from Durban, Sam Coleman, our honorary BPA member.
Yeah, you're right. One of the bigger crowds of the year so far.
There's Mike McDonald there, the bearded gentleman to the right. He's from Stumps Lanes.
On the replay, we can see that this ball drifts too far. Now look at it. It should have went into a roll about 3 feet ago. Look at it deflect. That's a 6-pin going into the channel, not even making an aggressive move on the 10. Greg Lothian, left lane, 2 10-pins in a row. Watch the adjustment next frame on lane 5.
Well, Greg Lothian was not about to leave that one standing after he saw what happened to Tony Disanto. I guess that even makes you concentrate a little more when you see somebody just before you miss one.
Greg's got a good spare game, and he throws a very powerful first ball. I'm not really sure that he's actively going to worry about what the other opponent does. And on the replay here, we can see Tony's mixing ball that we've come to know a little bit. Yes, again, it's skidding a little bit too far, but watch the head pin. Center your screen, go to the wall. That's the 4 into the 5, and then the neck of it takes out the 7. Tony's back in it.
Yes, sir.
12-pin deficit at this point.
But a lot of paper to go. Tony Disanto stepping up there in frame number 4. We are on lanes 5 and 6 here at Eastgate this afternoon. And looking for 10, and down they go.
Oh, the light mixer once more.
Didn't get any help there, did he?
No, it's it. The strong ball, the good release, the clean shot that we're going to see here is very indicative of Tony's game. Watch it. No frills bowling. I've said it before. Very direct, good release, not overpowering. But here, the head pin again. Center your screen. There he goes to the wall, comes off. That's the 4, getting kicked in. Out of here, 5. Catch you later.
You better believe it. Boy, he almost left the split.
Right through the nose. Very, very fortunate to break up the split. Looked like Riga broke up a few splits yesterday at LaRue Lanes. Jennifer, I think Riga's going to be coming back regardless.
Yeah, we're qualifying today at LaRue Lanes. Riga was our top qualifier from yesterday, which means no matter if he wins or loses, he will be on the show. Oh, look out on that shot.
Extra coat of paint, no problem on that pin.
And next week we'll be coming to you from LaRue, but the qualifying will actually be going on at Penthouse Lanes in St. Bernard, another fine betting house establishment.
The score sheet shows you we have a 1-pin match at this point. The advantage going to Greg Lothian, left lane, lane 5.
In a match which Dave Newrath predicted scores of 240 or better. We shall see.
Let's see.
Here we go. Here we go.
See, I really wasn't counting on the 10-pin staying up quite as often as it has here.
Yeah, nobody does. Right?
Nah. Greg, I'm surprised to see Greg not make some sort of an adjustment on that shot. He threw 2 great shots on the left lane before. And look.
Wow. We have seen each of these players do exactly that.
If I ever predict high scores again,
we've heard this before.
Yeah.
Have we not, Jim?
I think next week Dave's going to predict they all bowl 120s.
140s and all.
All right, 140s. We'll give him the bottom dollar,
Sure.
140.
Tony Disanto, lane number 6. And he got a little wide again.
Well, what we're seeing is both players not making the appropriate adjustments. Ladies and gentlemen, there's more to the game of bowling than just hitting the 1-3 pocket. The balls we're seeing leave the 10s are deflecting. So a couple of things you can try to do. You can spot further in on the lane. In other words, if you're looking at the arrows, look maybe a foot this side of it. You may want to ease up just a little bit on your speed to try to get the carry. But you got to make some adjustments. It's obvious that the 10 isn't going to go out where they're playing.
What kind of adjustment would you make?
Well, typically I'd make a ball change, Tommy, and a lot of people don't like to do that. My theory is I'm comfortable on the lane. I'm hitting the pocket with regularity. All you need is 6 inches of movement, either more left or right with the ball or sooner or later on the lane. I like to let the ball do that. That's what we carry 6 bowling balls around with us for, you know?
Not for your health.
That's for sure.
There you go. Tony Disanto puts 10 away, and Greg Lothian.
The mixer on the replay will show you that Tony has come to play. All the flush shots have left weak 10s. Watch this one. Ball's going to skid, skid, skid. Now it's going to go into a roll, but not really. See it jump to the right? 5-pin. Last one to go out of there, and I believe that was the 2.
Big ball right here from Mr. Lothian. He left the last frame open.
There you go. Run, run, run. Oh. I didn't quite get there.
I was talking about Pinhouse Lanes. We're qualifying. We'll be going on next week. They have a tournament going on. It's called the St. Patrick's Day Classic. It will be March 26th and 27th, and they do have a guaranteed first prize of $500. That's March 26th and 7th at Pinhouse Lane in St. Bernard.
Yes, indeed. And like you said, Jen will be there next week. Well, Greg Lothian picks up the spare this time, but after leaving frame number 5 open, he has put himself in a bit of a hole.
Well, the hole is exactly 10 pins, Tommy. The advantage going to Tony with the strike working in the 7th frame, or in the 6th frame, going into the 7th. 10-pin deficit by this man, Greg Lothian. Has to get back in the match with a strike right here.
He strikes.
What an adjustment.
There you go. What did he do? You say he made an adjustment.
He tightened up his line and he went with a little more speed. The thing that Greg Lothian does so well is throw the ball more firmly. There you see it, right over the 10th board. Now, no arc this time. It's more direct. No deflection. No way. Not today. The 1-3-5-9 taken out. 10-pin deficit, but it's getting closer.
Tony looks like he is on the money as well.
Tony, if he stays with a light slapping shot, he is going to be right back in this game. Yesterday, let's see, it looks like we may have a rematch here, Jennifer.
Yeah, well,
Ooh.
possibly. Ralph Goyette did come in second with 685. And Riga, of course, was high on Saturday with 718. Ralph will have a roll-off with the second man from Sunday to determine whether or not he will go on to meet, well, we're not exactly sure, are we?
That's right.
One thing we do know is Riga will not meet Riga.
No, that's for sure.
Well, if he would, we'd have a definite problem here because we'd have to come up with $750 checks.
And maybe 2 Ford Escorts.
Well, you know what interesting about this, too, is that with Riga being the top qualifier from yesterday, should he happen to win again today, Ralph then assumes the high position with 685. He's guaranteed a spot on the show for next week, and then Brett Comer will be the alternate or be involved in the roll-off as we see Tony pick up his spare.
Loaded cash yesterday was 591, and on the women's side, Bert Brockman had 591. She was high, and 556 is cashing for women. So come on out, ladies. We'd like to see some new faces out there.
Yeah, we've also got the youth qualifying as well.
Yes, and Steve Wells was high with 638. Steve Wells, 638.
Greg Lothian showed some emotion for the first time in this match. He knows he's got to knock them down 10 at a time from here on out.
You bet. Greg Lothian wants to issue a challenge at this point, and that is, I'm going to throw my best shot from here on out, and you're going to have to come and get me, because with that shot, he's got the double working. He physically takes the lead.
Greg Lothian is the pro shop operator over at Ball Shops. Single. Right here in Cincinnati. He can bowl.
He's come to play, I would say, Dave.
You betcha. You betcha. After 3 weak 10s on the left lane, what did we say, Tommy? He's going to have to make an adjustment. He did that extremely well and crushed 3 perfect strikes.
See him kind of shaking. That's not a nervous habit for you folks at home. We happen to be sitting right by the doors out here. It's a tad chilly from what it's been in weeks past. And these guys, of course, in the short sleeve shirts.
Deflecting shot for Tony. He's just about, look at him. He's not aggressively standing there. I mean, there's 2 ways you can stand there. It's like, yeah, give me the ball. Let me go with it. And it is another weak 10. I'm going to be in trouble. But again, Tony's hit the pocket very well. The light mixer's been his friend today. The half pocket has not.
Going to pick up the spare. And again, the same thing that happened to Tony back in frame number 2. Boy. Now, how in the world do you let it happen twice?
His dapper's down. I mean, he hasn't carried a couple of key shots. He's hung in there this long. His opponent now throws crushers in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. Wasn't mathematically over by any means, but it's very easy to let down. The younger player, that's going to happen to from time to time.
Well, he needs to get some strikes and get them fast, and not this time.
He did miss that 10 pin both ways, too, and that's very easy. The first one went to the right, so he overcorrected a little bit. We also have some other proprietors here with us today. Tom Murphy from Stones Lanes and Irv Winkie from Western Bull. We'd like to thank all the proprietors for coming out on this fine Sunday morning, afternoon.
Yeah, whatever. Could be either way. Tony will pick up the spare. But after leading early, he is, well, needless to say, would like to have a couple of frames back, most notably that ninth, because, Dave, you've talked about many times, that is the frame you build on going into the 10th.
Yeah,
he left it open.
Exactly right. The best he can finish out at this point, if he strikes, is 192. Greg Lothian will, let's see, even with a bad count and an open, let's see what happens here.
Didn't look like the same player, Tony Disanto, and what we saw last week. You talk about he just didn't look as aggressive. I mean, he really came out fired up last week. But this week he just seems a tad off.
Let's put it this way. Greg Lothian, with any count on the first shot, over 8, and then one more out, would win. But if a bad count on the first ball, which he's not going to have,
no,
the party's over.
Greg Lothian.
Chalk this one up for the Gipper.
Yes, sir. Sir. This kid just made a commemorative stab for the Gipper. He was rocking. You see that this week?
No.
22 cents.
Wow, it's obsolete.
Let's go, yeah, more or less. I wouldn't send a letter across the street.
Yeah, really. Make a commemorative stamp that's obsolete. What's that telling you? I'm not sure that's an honor.
It means you better collect it.
I don't know. Really?
Means you better have 2. You're looking at Greg Lothian. He will move on in our next game. And who's on deck for Mr. Lothian?
He'll meet Ronnie Pollard, one of the infamous Pollard family bowlers.
They got a bunch of them.
We saw Regina with our golden ball.
I tell you what, there you see it.